Hello, beautiful people. This is Bart from Coding into Health. Today, I would like to explore the concept of people pleasing and how it relates to lacking a sense of identity, which is actually a pretty, which still is a theme in my life, but it definitely has been a way bigger theme in the past. So I would like to explore how these two concepts relate. So what I very often see in myself and in the people around me is that when people have the inclination to please others excessively, that often comes from a lack of self-identity. And the way I see that, or the way I see that connection, is that when you lack a self-identity, it's like there's not enough definition of who you are. There's not enough form to who you are. There's not enough concepts as to what you value, so what you think is important, what is not important, and what you stand for. So by having a lack of boundaries, because when you define yourself, you're putting certain boundaries on what you are. By defining, you're also limiting. But it's kind of how the 3D world works, right? So you define, you give shape, you structure your own identity. But let's assume you have difficulties with that, like I have. So then you would not be able to put a structure on yourself, to define yourself as that person, or to define your values, It's very fundamental concepts to developing a healthy ego. So if you lack that, you lack a sense of self and you lack that structure. So what you're going to do in conversations with people is you're going to try to identify yourself in relation to them. And you're going to be dependent on other people to make you feel good, to make you feel loved. And the only way to do that is by making them happy, or by kind of making them at ease, pleased, happy. And we think that what makes people happy is by pleasing them all the time, but what people pleasers have to understand, and I'm definitely one of them, or at least I definitely was, I still am to a certain degree, but what we have to understand is that there is a difference between being liked and being respected. So if you are a people pleaser, people may like you on the surface. So you're probably gonna avoid conflict, and you're probably gonna be perceived as nice and easygoing. But at the cost of what? At the cost of having a firm self-identity, at the cost of having boundaries, at the cost of having your own opinions, at the cost of standing out, being who you want to be, being the uniqueness that we all have. So by standing in that uniqueness that you are, you're inevitably gonna bounce against people and provoke reactions, and that's okay. That's one of my major lessons in this life, because if I can be really honest, I grew up as a young kid being completely different than, so I was basically different from other people, and I often got that message like, hey, you're so weird. So my friends would call me, or the people in my class, they would call me weird, different, funny, So I got this message that I'm weird, I'm different, I'm strange, I'm funny. And on top of that, I got this label of ADHD, and I got fed medication for the ADHD, but looking back now with the proper understanding and perspective, what it means is that I was very unique, I was different, yes, but instead of wanting to fit in necessarily, or instead of wanting to fit in, instead of wanting to please and be liked by others, it could be your mission to actually please yourself, to actually like yourself, to actually love yourself, to actually nurture yourself, to get to know yourself, to understand yourself, to accept yourself, to know yourself. Who am I? And a lot of people who lack a strong sense of self are people-pleasing by nature. And it is your goal or mission or task to develop a strong sense of self. And in the process of developing that, by meditation, by introspection, by asking yourself questions like, okay, what do I stand for? What are my interests? And writing these things down, you will have having the courage to be spontaneous, even if it's a quirky you, so be it. You'd rather be yourself than a picture that other people want to see from you. No, right? You would rather want to be yourself than mirror the expectations that other people want you to be, because that's kind of a recipe for unhappiness. So I guess that's my main message, guys, is if you are someone that's easily pleasing people, understand that you may have a mission to develop a strong sense of self. And in the process of developing that, in the process of going there, yes, you will run into conflicts with people where people pleasing is not an option. Because you made the decision to be your unique self and to be unapologetic about it. So yes, you will have to drop the people pleasing, the trying to please people so they will give you love. No, it's a process of learning that you have to love yourself. And loving yourself can mean to understand what are the intricacies, also what are the details about you. What are your unique character traits? What are your unique gifts and talents? And what are your weaknesses? And how does your psychology, how does your psychology look like? And getting to know all of these things and falling in love with that person that you discovered to be. Developing that strong sense of self and being in your own power, being in your own authenticity. I think that's very important, at least for me, and I think there's many people who have a similar mission. Okay, I hope you got something out of this. Signing off, this is Bart from Coding into Health. We speak at each other very soon. Bye-bye.